The lady who was involved in the accident, the ambulance came, removed her from the scene, the police came, were doing their thing, and the passengers that were on the bus at that time, it would have been school children. We would have transferred them to the closest buses that can get them to school on time, so they're not standing around waiting to see what happens. Transport Board is a very large operation. We have here Weymouth for headquarters. We also have a terminal at Speightstown. We have Fairchild Street. We have Princess Alice Terminal. We have Mangrove, and we have a sub-depot at Oistins as well. We have buses that start from various points on the island. Some do not actually start from a terminal. You'll have a cross-country route that might start in St. George and come across to Christchurch and things like that. So we deal with buses from different points. We also have our general workers section that will come in on mornings at 5:30, some at 6 o'clock, and they will go through the terminals and they'll clean, they'll sweep. The terminals that are actually enclosed, they'll check the benches, wash the terminal down, that type of thing. The terminal like Princess Alice, that is not an enclosed terminal, has a huge tree in the center. They'll go sweep at the leaves so that the place looks presentable when the terminal opens for the first strip that leaves. It's not just the operators, even though that's the frontline staff that people see. We have the general workers, which you would have seen some this morning. We have our quality assurance team that the buses cannot move without these persons being involved. You have accounts, which will handle all of the revenue that comes in. You have human resources, which is a critical part because we have a staff of over 700 employees. Of course, you have the marketing and corporate communications arm. We have a medical team on staff as well because, as you would appreciate, the job is a sedentary job where you're driving for hours, and that becomes very tiring. That can lead to all sorts of other issues, and that medical staff was done in conjunction with our insurance brokers, IGS, and in conjunction with our insurance agent, CGI.
Okay, it's almost 11 o'clock. I'm back now in the yard. We had a very informative interview with Ms. Holder. I'm here now with Gina Graves, the terminal manager right here at Weymouth. Welcome to On Edge.
Thank you. Glad to be with you. What we'll do is to show you some of the end processes. You would have been with an all-day bus this morning, which is an operation of a split duty to accommodate the increased flow that you have during peak times, and you were with the bus at the morning peak. These buses usually come back in, and then the drivers report at the security hut to get their canisters removed, and then the buses are refueled again.
So this bus is being refueled now, right?
Yes, this bus would have gone out this morning. The fuel attendant would have put in the hose so it will get topped up for the evening half of the duty and do any checks as far as the transmission fluids and so on that are at the back of the bus. What we can do is go and check the quality assurance department. They manage or look after any minor defects that will come in during the day.
The quality assurance department is responsible for all the maintenance of the vehicle of the transport board. The driver is given a logbook where he would fill out his complaint of the nature of the defect of the vehicle, and then my department will investigate this defect and do the necessary corrections. So as you see, we're going through the process, we're checking the brakes on this vehicle. This is being investigated now by Inspector Wajadoti and his assistant, Denzel Seal. As soon as the brakes is adjusted, we will take it off the ramp and have it tried. If it's good enough for us, we put this bus back into service.
We adjust it back. So we got to go to the front now. So the front will have to be adjusted.
Well, Gina, that was very interesting seeing the brakes being adjusted on that bus. So where do we go from here now?
Well, from here, what I'll do is run you through the operations department because this is headquarters, and what you would have seen so far is the actual output, the service, the interaction with the public. But there's a lot of planning that goes into it, and all of that is done at this location. So we'll just head up the stairs. I'll give you an opportunity to meet some of our staff, what we do and what our work area is like at this particular location. This is the station whereby the operators, they come in, they report to the supervisor, and then they're assigned to their buses and they take up duty. One of our most senior persons in rostering, Richard Rochester, is responsible for assigning drivers to their duties daily. That will determine where they work, what areas, and so on. Miss Lucette Graves, she does the rostering for Speightstown. We do everything from here. All the rosters and all the information that goes up is done at the headquarters. This is Mr. Andy Jordan. He works a lot with our research and scheduling. And this is Miss Pam Hunt. She processes the waybills that are used. We have moved to an electronic ticketing machine system. We would have launched that since last year, but there's still a few buses that would utilize a waybill, and it's her duty to input this information on a daily basis so we'll get our summarized totals of our ridership and what's going on the routes for billing purposes.
Well, Gina, thanks for walking us through the yard, and thanks for having us on edge, you know. And I wish you continued success.
Thank you. It was great having you here, and we hope the public now will see what really goes into putting that service out there, and we're here working for you.
Well, it's now about midday, and we are in the Princess Alice terminal. So this is another terminal under the control of the Barbados Transport Board. It's a new terminal, was opened almost 2 years ago. Well, Michael, welcome to On Edge, right? You know, well, this terminal is somewhat new in comparison to Fairshire Street and Spike Store and so on.
Fairshire Street terminal that have more buses to run than the Princess Alice terminal. Right? They have more gates to run than down here.
Yeah. Now, I guess some stress happens then when the rain start to fall and the passengers start to complain to you.
Right, exactly. Yeah. You have problems when the rain falls.
Well, it's almost 2 o'clock. We are back at the terminal at Weymouth. We have just seen the arrival of Patrick Payne. We will end this program with him going back on the road. As he said earlier today, he's going back on the route at 2 o'clock. So he has been here really and truly from minutes to 7 o'clock. So Patrick, you're back for the afternoon shift. So tell me what procedure will take place from here now. You will just go up in the bus, or you have to?
No, I have to go in operations and collect a waybill, and then go from here to the terminal. What you do, you just write down the numbers that you start at every trip. Right, so I go in and report, and I sign for the waybill, and then I write all my numbers.
Patrick, you're at it again, man.
Yeah, I'm at it.
Yes. And you got to tell the guard.
2249? Yeah, 100.
Well, you have been watching On Edge. I'm Ajay. I was with the Transport Board, particularly Patrick here, Patrick Payne, from about 7 o'clock. And he's going back on a route now to start at 2:15. So I hope you understand the Transport Board, the different routes out there relate to the passengers, to school children. We saw the unfortunate situation with the accident, but the Transport Board were professional. And we had a tour of the Transport Board. So I hope you appreciate now the wonderful job that these guys are doing. So bye for now. Thanks to the Transport Board. Keep watching On Edge.